Welcome to another episode of Bloodrock. I want to first thank you all for the awesome response I got to my last video. It was a ton of work to make, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I also got a lot more traffic than usual due to the horror paintings resource pack I linked to. I also wanted to give a shout out to that shady Russian website that reposted my pack without my permission, and then they had the audacity to tell the users that my paintings would not be more decorative. All right, let's take a look at our goals board right now because I think a lot of this episode is going to be marking off some of our goals. We got collect all the vanilla mob heads. I think we could definitely work towards that. Building a nether base. I definitely want to do that this episode. Storming bastions for gilded blackstone. I would definitely like to do that. I'm still not going to say what the gilded blackstone is for yet. You're just going to have to find out in probably the next episode or so. Get my wings. I don't know if we'll be able to do that and defeat the Wither this episode. We'll definitely try. Reclaim an entire ancient city. Lofty goal, but I think we're gonna go for it also. You'll recall that my last episode ended with me upgrading my sword to netherite, which now enables me to use Jason's knife as a weapon. So I named her Stabitha, originally with an I and then later with an A. And Stabitha has been amazing for using against Jason, who very much continues to be a threat here on Bloodrock, such as here, where I found out that he can break down iron doors and went and killed some of my villagers. So yeah, Stabitha has been awesome against Jason, also the Blood Moons, but honestly, I am still getting rocked and need to upgrade the rest of my armor to netherite. Obviously, having full netherite armor and gear has been massively helpful in the game, especially during Blood Moon nights, which only seem to get more and more challenging. So I've been coming up with like different creative ways to deal with Blood Moon nights. Up until this point, I was spending a lot of those nights just kind of holed up in my house as if it's the purge or something. But I decided to get creative and try the Johnny name tag out, which, for those of you who aren't aware, this is actually an Easter egg in Minecraft. That's a reference to the movie The Shining. Here's Johnny. So if you name a Vindicator Johnny, he'll just indiscriminately attack every single type of mob, whether it's hostile, friendly, anything. It's actually a lot of fun, even though it's very dangerous to mess with. Another thing that's been helping me on Blood Moon nights is the fact that my Bates Motel is a villager hall, so I'm spawning in iron golems all the time, though they definitely get overpowered a lot of the time. So last episode I did have a villager converting process in place at the Bates Motel, but it was definitely very messy, so I want to take the time to show you how the new system works. So just as a quick example, we're going to go into room 2, and this is a typical bathroom in my villager trading hall. It's got villagers, it's got workstations, you got it. Now, if I go next door here, I'll show you one where I'm actively converting villagers. They're clerics. So what I did is, this is the guy I want to convert. He's at 23 rotten flesh. I'm trying to get him down to 1 for an emerald. I got him trapped in the shower here with a glass block so that a zombie's head could go through it. And then the other 2 guys are trapped on the side here just so they don't get attacked by the zombie. And so what I do is I go and request some room service, which this is actually hooked up in every single room. Then Plonker comes in and attacks the villager. Usually I have to send him in 2 or 3 times to get him converted into a zombie. And now my villager is bleeding profusely all over the shower because this is the Bates Motel after all. So all we need is one more hit to convert this guy. Let's request room service one more time. Alright, and Plonker's got him and goes back to his little station in the back of the office. So now I have... Oh, I didn't get him yet. Let's go over here. In the office, I keep some weakness arrows and golden apples, which weakness arrows are so much cheaper than using weakness potions on Bedrock Edition. If you're not doing it that way, you are really fucking up. But shoot him with one of those, give him a golden apple. Waiting. Oh, there we go. 17. Alright, it's an improvement, but it's going to take a few more conversions before... Oh, you're the bad example. Until we get him down to 1 emerald. Obviously, we can't sleep during blood moons, and of course there's lots of great mob loot that can be collected, but it's very dangerous out. So I took the time to make a blood moon farm, which I access by jumping down into the lake. Woo! And essentially what I do is I hang out here during blood moons now, and I'm able to lure endermen, creepers, even evokers, though they do have ranged attacks, and I'm able to get all kinds of great loot. This is especially handy for the phantoms, which you'll see in a second are absolutely devastating on blood moon nights, and I've been collecting lots of phantom membranes this way. So yeah, it's not the most exciting farm, just a general mob farm, but it has been making blood moons a lot more tolerable. So one of our goals for this season is to reclaim an entire ancient city for a yet-to-be-determined purpose. So I flew out to this beautiful mountain range that I found out had an ancient city beneath it, and then I cleared out all the trees in this grove and built a nice little wood cabin from all the local oak. Let me just give you a quick little tour here in RTX. It's nothing too fancy, just a basic cabin with a bed, portal, little storage upstairs, and a cute little balcony overlooking the mountaintops. It's what's beneath it that's much more interesting. So I didn't stream it this time, but I looked up ancient cities on Chunk Base again and found one much, much closer to our home base, not 14,000 blocks out, and decided to reclaim this one. And we did it, y'all. We did it. I reclaimed this entire space, and I'm still thinking of what we can do with it. It's kind of a crazy idea, but I'm wondering what it might be like if we turn this into an industrial area, maybe with like a really fancy sorting system. That could be really cool. While I was digging down to the ancient city, I hit an iron ore vein, which I was absolutely pumped on because I really hate making iron farms and will avoid doing it as long as I can. So I dug out as much as I could and built 2 8-furnace smelting arrays in my basement. And I'm used to building 32 furnace smelting arrays, and by comparison, these were excruciatingly slow, but I am really stoked to have that much iron. Zombie head acquired. Creeper head acquired. So I really hope it doesn't seem like I'm rushing this episode by trying to achieve all my goals in one episode. I've honestly just been having a ton of fun playing in this world and jumping between projects. So I made some Eyes of Ender and then went to go find a stronghold. Eventually found one underneath this village. And of course the reason we need a stronghold is to go to the end because I have 2 goals related to that. One of which is to get my wings, and the other of which is to get all the vanilla mob heads, which the dragon head is the last vanilla mob head I don't have, at least until the next Minecraft update comes out. So let's be real, my nether system is fucking garbage right now. I need to put time into building a proper nether hub that I can be proud of. Of course, this is completely separate from the nether base, which is one of my goals for this episode, but I wanted to show you the process of building the nether hub, because it was careless like everything else I do on this. And welcome to my brand new nether hub, which looks infinitely better than that shithole that I had before. Before we proceed, could we take a moment of silence for Stabitha? We unfortunately lost in that tragic lava accident. We will now rely on the services of Kid Cudi. So I got tunnels going in the 4 cardinal directions. This one leads to a soul sand valley that also leads to the end portal. This one goes to our mining operation and base, as well as a nether fortress and a crimson forest biome. This one leads to a bastion. And this one leads to a warped forest. Also, take a second to appreciate the texture of that ceiling. That is so trippy and symmetrical and perfect. I love it. Alright, let's hop on the rail line and I'll show you the nether base that I built as well. It's gonna take a second to get to the nether base, so in the meanwhile, let me show you my adventure at the bastion. I scoped it out and did my best to take out all the piglin brutes before I arrived. And I knew they would follow you from some distance, but I had no idea they would come and chase you across the nether. I sniped them out one by one. I put obsidian blocks on top of all the chests to prevent me from opening them. And the reason is because the loot tables are going to change in the next update, so we want to come back and get the netherite upgrades and the new smithing templates. Also, no mercy. And we're just arriving. Welcome to my nether base. So let me show you around here. We got the nether wart garden. We got the help me I'm in hell painting, seems appropriate. We got a beautiful balcony here where we can launch our broom and also land as well. I got a basalt farm, which this is how I build them in the overworld. This is my own design because I wasn't a fan of the tutorials out there. But I didn't realize how much faster it is in the nether. Like, I can barely get past 1 block of basalt. Over here, I got my piglin bartering farm. This is Piggles in here. And, oh yeah, down here is the mining operation. If we break this minecart, we can actually go down all the way to level 15. So let me show you a little bit about the inspiration for this place and how it came together. So I really didn't know where I wanted to build a base in the nether, and then I saw this really cool basalt column going through a soul sand valley that intersected with the rail line itself, and I thought it would be really cool to build a nether base just kind of impaled on this spike. So that's the concept I went with. One of the major challenges for having a nether base suspended over a lava lake is access to a mine shaft. So I decided to drop scaffolding along the basalt pillar all the way down to level 15. Problem is there are ghasts, so I decided to encase it in glass eventually. The next thing I needed to do was to capture a piglin because I wanted a piglin bartering farm. So I named him Piggles, and then lured him over to this little corner with a very simple piglin bartering redstone setup, and just locked him in. Alright, let's go back to our goals board and update it. We have built a nether base. We have storm bastions for gilded blackstone, but I'm not going to cross that off just yet. I'm going to save that for the big reveal. Let's see. Get our wings. We have not done that yet. We have reclaimed an entire ancient city, but shit, why don't we go get our wings? Let's do it. Alright, then here we go. I have been building up to this for quite some time. I know it's not like the biggest deal to fight the dragon, but I personally haven't fought the dragon like solo in years and years, so it's just kind of built up in my head. So my strategy is to be a little bit OP as far as I got poison arrows, I got full netherite, I got a good bow, regen potions that I got from the ancient city. So all things considered, this is a lot more like prepared than the last time I fought the dragon by myself. So what could go wrong? Alright, let's do this. Alright, set my respawn point right here at the end portal. And the first thing I want to do is lay down a chest and put some unnecessary items in here. I think this is all I need. I don't need my silk touch, I guess. But I got my shield, regen potions, 2 totems. We should be good to go. Blocks. I forgot to get blocks. I might need to block over to the end island, so let me go do that. Alright, so I got a bunch of diorite that was adjacent to the fortress here. Let's go. Let's go. Ha! It's a good thing I brought blocks, because that would have been a rough jump.